Nope. No. No, I don't have that problem. No, it's not that easy. No, you know what? Why am I listening to this? Hello, this is Ray with Get Real Ray, a place and space for life and business tips from this creative soul. That's me. I'm so creative. To hopefully inspire you on your journey, or at the very least, provide you with some laughs. And so let's get real. Let's get real about the fact that you and me both need to drum up some more business or some more fabulous memories.
Craving real advice? Tired of feeling like every other small business owner or solopreneur is raking in the dough while you just seem to be raking? Secretly looking for a reminder that starting your own business is not as glamorous as others make it look? Whether you're looking to change the game in your relationships at home or at the workplace, you've come to the right place. My name is Ray. I went from corporate America to running my own small business to becoming a solopreneur. I'm a professional actor and, dare we say, a professional busybody, because this body is about to be busy all up in your biz. So let's get real.
Okay, so I love podcasts. I love being able to learn, or rather just take in information as I'm going about my day. Sometimes I really love just music, but I often want to like sing along, dance, and that can be a bit distracting if I have ideas that I need to generate, right? So if I need to problem solve something work related and my jam comes on, I might start singing along to my jam, or just want to stop working and focus on my jam. Or get up and start dancing around the room, go have a snack while I'm singing to my jam. And so the ability to problem solve that problem just completely goes out the window. With that being said, sometimes just having a podcast playing in the background, I can listen, like I could tune in and try to learn, or I cannot. It can just be noise. But I do find it often can be somewhat better for my brain than just random, I don't know. What do we want to call it? Random gossip, I guess. Yeah, I guess we'll just say that. Like, I'm not a gossipy podcast listener or YouTube listener. I'm not down with that. With that being said, live your life. If that's the genre you prefer, you go for it. But the audio format, I really very much enjoy. And recently, podcast platforms like Apple have started allowing for video versions of podcasts. And so, whereas I had spent all this time creating this audio content, like, I haven't put on any makeup, I haven't showered, but I can go ahead and just drink some water and record this and I'm good. Whoop, whoop. Well, for some of my podcasts, that's not really like, I have to really revisit my plan and be like, ooh, do I want to take this video? Do I want people to see what I look like? I don't know. Now, you lucky ducky. With this podcast, you guys have seen me since day one, and you know I be looking a hot mess sometimes. And I'm okay with that, because that's a part of what running your own business or trying to get more out of the life you want, that's what it looks like. Right? I realize not everybody tuning in is running their own business, but chances are you are doing something to pursue the life you want. And the life you want doesn't necessarily mean you have to want to run your own business, okay? I get that. For me, part of the life that I want is just to be surrounded by loving people who aspire to do things. Yeah. So if you are loving but you lazy, we're not going to hang much, because I have a lot of things that I want to get done and I want to do, and I want to live a life feeling fulfilled. And so as much as I'm happy to hang with you, if you just want to sit and watch TV all day and that's our connection, I can't do that all day. I can do it for a little bit, but not all day. At some point, I need you to join me in aspiring to get off that couch. And if that's not your jam, that's fine. Just know that this loving human being that you be hanging with ain't gonna be there 24/7. Just saying. Okay. So with that being said, I have been listening to a lot of different podcasts, and I go through these cycles, right? So for a while I was like, give me Dateline. Not because I wanted to learn how to murder anybody, people. I was doing these long drives. I was falling asleep, and I'm like, okay, just give me good storytelling. And I have to say, recently I saw like the TV version of Dateline. I only made it through like 2 minutes. I'm like, oh, I want to see these people. Oh, I just want to listen to it. I just find your voices soothing, and I like try to problem solve, like who did it. So it works my brain that way. And for those who, I remember having friend, roommate, what have you, who was like, yeah, you know, the next generation, we're not going to have to worry about Alzheimer's or anything like that because we're all using our minds constantly because we're all into video games. Okay, well, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. You guys all have addiction issues at this point. So I think this was at least like 10 years ago when this person told me this. And so, hello, sir, if you are watching this, love you dearly, but your generation all got so many depression issues and addiction issues. I'm just saying, you was being truthful. I'm just being truthful with you. I'm just saying you haven't dodged the dementia bullet. I think I said autism before, but I meant Alzheimer's and dementia. Okay. Now, moving right along. All right. So yeah, I go through these different cycles in terms of different type of podcasts that I like to listen to. And recently I stumbled upon a bunch of podcasts that were related to solopreneurship. I'm like, well, this is perfect. Let me see what other people talking about, because I'm in the solopreneur category, boo-boo. Yeah, what y'all talking about? And I had some titles that I was loving. I'm like, oh, I like this title. Oh, yes. But then I'm listening to the guests they have on. I'm like, okay, this solopreneur who's a multi-millionaire and sold this business or that business, or this solopreneur who is globetrotting and making all this money and their skill is something in tech. Okay, I cannot relate. Okay? You got like one golden nugget to give me. One golden nugget, and I'm devoting 50 minutes of ear listening time. Okay, I put you on double speed, so it's only 25 minutes. But still, come on, man. I cannot relate. And so, I want to help you. You solopreneur who wants to either drum up more business, or you, my friend, who is not a solopreneur at all, you are just loving whatever it is that you do for your work to earn your bread, and you just want to have more memorable memories. Now, why am I connecting these two together? Well, for me, when it comes to running your own business and working for you and you being all the hats, you're probably doing something that you enjoy doing and you're trying to make some money off of it. Maybe you're really passionate about that drop shipping, but probably not, right? If you really love making t-shirts, it's your jam, then that's why you're doing that solo thing. And that's why you're trying to do it full time. I'm not talking about some little side hustle, Alibaba, whatever, right? Now, with that being said, if you're doing something because you love what it is that you're offering, you want for other people to benefit from it, And mind you, I did talk to a woman who was a solopreneur. She was good at accounting. That was her skill set. She decided she didn't want to work for anybody anymore. So she just let a few people know, like, hey, I offer accounting. And that was her business. Just doing accounting solo. She likes numbers. She doesn't love doing accounting for other people, but she likes numbers, and she likes the peace that it brings her in terms of not having to worry about other people or other drama. It brings her peace. Okay. So this whole, like, you know, do what you love and you'll never feel like you work a day in your life, or you have to, if you're going to start a business, make it your passion. Like, I'm pretty sure her passion was not doing other people's books. Pretty sure her passion was something else. Okay, so with all of that being said, chances are, if you're working solo, you are looking to have good experiences. You just don't want drama. That's why you're not working for anybody else anymore, right? Or you are completely unhireable. You're like, I gotta pay my bills and no one wants to hire me, so I gotta do something. But yeah, you want to have positive experiences. We're just gonna make that an assumption, okay? No more disclaimer. Assumption. You want to have positive experiences. Now, for the person who is not doing their own thing, you may just want to have positive experiences with your friends and family, and that's why you need to be tuning in. Okay, I have a little list, you guys. So, I looked over my list and like, no, let me just talk. Okay, so I met a young lady when I was on a train. I was on Amtrak. I was sleepy. And she was like, hi. And I'm like, hi. And we kind of set it up like we're probably not going to talk to each other. I was like, I haven't had any sleep. So, you know, and she's like, oh, okay, no problem. And then I don't know why we just kept talking, but I never slept. And she kept talking. And I I was asking her questions. It was a good conversation. And she had this thing with her business where, you know, solopreneur, she had recently hired an assistant, just contract assistant, and they handled like one specific aspect of her business. She did everything else, and it was basically they helped her with her scheduling. I am all for it. By the way, side note, if you are a solopreneur and part of your business involves appointments and meetings, I strongly recommend getting to the point where you can get an assistant. I've had an assistant in the past, and every time I have an assistant, I am able to do just so much more than usual. This is different from when I am mentoring groups of young people, because that takes a lot of energy. But when I have one person who is well-trained to focus on my schedule, ooh, I love it, I love it, I love it. Okay, so with that being said, this young lady was living her best life and making good money, being a solopreneur, and she said she did not invest in advertising. She had her Instagram, and she had her newsletter. And I didn't want to be like, well, that's invested in advertising. But I wasn't going to burst her bubble. It made her feel good to just frame it that way. And I was like, okay, whatever. So with that being said, if you want to drum up more business or have more meaningful memories, talk to people. Talk to people. Because she wasn't telling me she's getting clients from Instagram. She was getting clients by talking to people like me on the train. Everywhere she'd go, she'd try to just talk to at least one new person a day. That was her goal. And make one new connection. And what she found is that people would be like, you know, oh, what you do is so interesting. I used to work for, I know someone who worked for. You should reach out to them. And her skill set's quite unique. She has a lot of experience working in hospitality, including fine dining. And so she was going around training teams to take pride in giving quality service. And I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, where were you when I was back in the restaurant industry? Because I was trying, but I was surrounded by just disasters all over the place. And I think the skill that she is offering out there is something that really goes beyond hospitality, because in America, at least, there is a lot of sentiment of, I'm here just to make my money and, you know, you lucky you got me kind of thing. And we've lost this idea of being proud of the work that you're doing. There's pride in the amount of money you're making, or awards you received. But what about the pride in just really getting together with your colleagues and having a successful meeting? What about the pride in not just finishing the website so you can get clients, you solopreneur, but the pride in knowing, yeah, I'm going to deliver top-notch service to all of my appointments today because it's what I love. And when you're working for yourself, you can get really tired, burnt out, and just like, I just need to do this in order to make the money, honor the commitment, right? They purchase an advance package, and so I need to fulfill the deliver on the goods. However, there are times when I have to remind myself, like, despite how tired I am, just to smile and be like, this is so great. This is so great that I get to do this. This is so great that I get to share this moment with these people. This is so great that I get to have an impact. I'm going to allow them to impact me as well. It's not just me giving to them. Oh, they're so lucky I'm giving to them. Like, I'm going to allow myself to be impacted. I have to remind myself at times, I'm going to try to learn something from them today. I'm going to try to really listen carefully. So one way to drum up more business is just to talk to people, strangers, talk to strangers. And for some cultures, that may be like, no, why would I talk to strangers? I'm not talking cold emails. I'm not talking spammy, scammy, cold calling, knocking on doors. I'm not talking that. Just genuine smile at somebody. And instead of thinking of it as, what can I offer them or what can I get from them, think of it as, well, what can I learn from them today? So talk to people with the goal of, oh, I want to learn something from this person today. And if culturally that is a big no-no, then start with your family, right? Like, you know, my kids, they're so annoying, but I'm going to try to learn something from my kids today. So, maybe I should ask them, what do you want? What should we get from the grocery store? What should we have for dinner? I'm like, I don't know. You got the answer. I don't know. Okay. Well, I guess we can't eat. I don't know. Can you help me look? Let's look for something together. Let's plan something for next week. Would you like to come to the grocery store with me? I'm online grocery shopping because we don't go to the grocery store anymore. We just pick stuff online. Let's go look at a cookbook, or should we look at a cookbook, or should we look at a YouTube video or TikTok or something for a recipe and like give it a try, right? You want to position things so that you can get the other person to want to share with you some information. They're going to be resistant at first, like, why are you talking to me? But after a while, that guard's going to drop. And they'll be like, oh, okay, well, you seem like you really want to know my opinion. So, yeah, there's this TikToker that makes really cool looking food, and I always wanted to try it, but I don't know how to cook. Oh, cool. Well, maybe we can look for the ingredients, see if it's something we can buy, and then maybe you can try to make it, or we can try to make it together. Like, what do you think? Just start talking to people. And if you feel like, I talk to my family all the time, then guess what? Your next assignment is talk to a neighbor. Of course, you want to be mindful and careful, not put yourself in situations where you're like, hi, it's so nice to meet you. And this single person is just like, are you looking to marry me? Like, you want to be mindful. But I think you're smart. If you're watching this video and you've made it this far, it's because you're smart. And if you're listening to my podcast and you've made it this far, it's because you're also smart. Or you're trying to stay awake a long drive. Okay, so talk to people is tippy number 1 for memorable moments or drumming up more business. Now, update your email signature or your text signature. So I put or text signature because I know some of y'all be like, hey man, blah, blah, blah. That's for old people. That's for dinosaurs. I only use WhatsApp. I only text. I don't call people. Okay, whatever. Get over yourself. I want you to update your signature. So at some point in your life, somewhere, you attach your name to when you're signing off, right? Or maybe you have a contact QR code or something that you give to people. Wherever it is that you give people your information, check it, update it. Is it still accurate and relevant? So for me, for the longest time, my signature has been, see you on the dance floor. But most of my business is online now, so I could see them on the virtual dance floor, but it might be time to rephrase that, like just change it, right? I don't know, keep moving and grooving. I don't know. But because I have different brands, see you on the dance floor isn't working for the acting portion of my business. They're like, but it's not musical theater, Ray. Why am I on the dance floor? I don't know, because that's what my signature says. That's where I'm going to see you. I'm not going to see you on Broadway yet, son. You don't do musical theater. Okay, so anyway, update your email signature or your text signature and really use that space. So not just your name, but make sure there's a contact information. And if you can include like a link to not just your website, but a sample of your work, or maybe a specific landing page for your website where it shows example of your work. So I've been doing lots of podcasts recently and I love them dearly. And I feel like, why am I so dedicated to try to put these podcasts in different directories, but I'm not really letting friends and family or people that I communicate with in my regular business know about these podcasts? And for a while, it was just this process of I just got to record the material. But now I have a good amount of content available. And I know who would benefit from this content. So I need to adjust my email signatures in order to include links to some of these podcasts. Now, one thing you can also do if you are like me and you have different brand names, you, of course, can have multiple email accounts. You don't have to just do various Gmail accounts, whoever your email provider is. If you have your domain name, then you can probably get a free email account using your domain name through your web host. And then you'll be able to funnel all those emails directly to your Gmail or Hotmail, whatever you use, or Outlook. And you can set it so that the reply message has the email address for the particular brand so that they never see that everything went to just one box. So all the identities stay separate. Having separate phone numbers can be more challenging if you have multiple brands. You know, if you only have like 2 or 3, it's easy breezy because you can just add a Google Voice number and then have a separate phone number. But if you've got like 4 or 5, then having second line, spare phone, it all becomes a little wonky doodle. And you really want to streamline things to make sure that you are not missing information. So I now have to just let people know, because in order for me to make sure I return everybody's calls and get all the things done, I now just have to have it stated, like, if you were reaching out to Miss Ray's audition prep, you will, and you're texting, please know that you're texting Choreography by Ray, the sister company of Miss Ray's audition prep, and you will see Choreography by Ray in your text string or what have you. Because they both share the same number, because I'm out of ability to get more phone numbers. I think I have 4 phone numbers, but I could use 5. Okay, so update your signatures because you're constantly sending messages, you're constantly communicating with people. Even if you're communicating with friends and family, why not just always have it in your signature? What you do, right? Now, if you're like, hello, memorable moment, not a solopreneur, okay. Even in your own personal messaging, if there is something that you do, then let people know, right? You can be like, bike lover and marathon runner in your signature. Why not, right? And then one day one of your friends gonna be like, hey, you want to go ride a bike? I want to go ride bikes. You want to go ride bikes with me? Because I love your signature. It's always like bike lover, marathon runner, whoop, whoop. And your friends might want to ask you more, which is a beautiful thing. More memorable moments, more positive experiences with friends and family. Okay, revisit what isn't working. So, if you are someone who is doing your own business thing, you've probably heard that one needs to put 80% of their energy into the 20% of the products or services that are actually making the most money. Like only 20% of what you create is what's bringing in the 80% of your revenue. And so that's where you need to put all of your time and energy. And you can just kind of forget about everything else. Yes and no. For myself, the cycle of what is popular, what is of interest to people seems to keep changing. And so at one point, online dance was very popular and I put my energy there. And then that died down and coding was popular. Okay, I put my energy there. Essay writing is popular, I put my energy there. Now dance is popular, but we want on-demand dance. Great. Well, I'll put my energy there. And it's constantly this hopping around of, well, what's selling? What's, I need to pay my bills. What's selling? I don't have the luxury of just trying to sell dance because when people are not feeling dance, whether it's in person, online, on demand, I still got to eat. So unless I'm able to structure my business so I have no bills and I can take all of the financial benefits of when things are running high and successful and popular. And then when things are not, booming, be able to still pay whatever, survive, feed myself, clothe myself, until the next uptick, that would be great. But that's not my life. I do have a number of bills that I would like to just pay off. Divorce is not cheap, people. Moving cross country is not cheap. And so, in a realistic world, as much as it is easy for all these financial gurus to say, oh, you just need to do X, Y, Z. Sorry, not all of us got it like that, right? Hate to call you out on your privilege, but being able to do X, Y, and Z is definitely a privilege. And over here with the A, B, and C. And so, yeah, I often revisit what isn't working. And it's not just a matter of taking down that course. I did do that for a period. I was like, well, this course ain't selling, so I might as well take it down. But it might not be it's not working because no one's interested. It might be the way that you're presenting it. And so for a couple of my programs where I'm like, this was popular in the past, or they say people are looking for this, but no one ever buys mine. Making a tiny change in terms of changing the promo video or changing the title or modifying the description. Maybe I did everything I was asked to do in terms of the description, but it's just long and I know no one's reading it. So maybe I have to move some of the words around. Taking a moment just to see, is there something I can do with what I have? And make a change and put it out there. And maybe that will improve things. I actually made some changes to a couple of my courses and sales have improved. Tiny changes, but sales have definitely improved. And I am going to be continuing to make changes in order to keep things going in the up direction. Yay! Revisit what is working. So I had some classes that were selling. And I'm like, well, they're selling. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, why is it working? is there any competition out there? Maybe there's not a lot of competition. Maybe there is competition, but I've got the best that is offered out there. If there is competition, is someone else out there making more money than me? Because that's not fair. But that could very well be the case. Or maybe there's one class that I offer and I've never really questioned it. I'm like, it sells every so often. It's not like the thing I expect to be doing with most of my time. I'm putting my time and energy into this other thing that I feel would be in demand. But this other thing, I'm happy to sell it. I enjoy doing it. And I recently discovered, someone sent me a request like, hey, I would love it to sign my child up for that course. Can you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? I was like, yes, I'm happy to. And then I have to put a pause and be like, okay, wait a minute. 5, 6, 7, and 8, like 1, 2, 3, 4 is already included, but 5, 6, 7, 8 was never included in this course. So really, she's asking for something custom made. So I need to let her know that if you want to sign up for the course, that's great. But only 1, 2, 3, 4 is included. If you want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that is private lesson, and that is private lesson pay. Never heard from that lady again. But I did have to check myself and just make sure that it is out there. Like, happy to do it, but not gonna do it for peanuts or for free. It is great that people will send in requests. I love that, like a DJ, like, oh, you want to request a song. But the DJ at the party cannot honor everyone's request because the person who comes over and requests, what did the fox say? And everyone else is, jamming to, I don't know, Rihanna or Drake. They're going to be like, yo, why are you playing this kitty weird? No, just no. And so I don't want to, like, the DJ doesn't want to turn off the rest of the party goers and have people just sit down or leave the party. I don't want to alienate other potential customers or do myself a disservice by just working for peanuts. So with that being said, I took a look around to see, okay, is someone else offering these things that she was asking for? And I saw that there was competition was very small and that person was selling out. I'm like, yo, this woman over here is selling out and I am her only competition. Everything else is on demand. She has no other competition. It's just me, the two of us. How is she selling out? So I had to look at, my course was working just fine, but I wasn't selling out like she was. So what else can I do? Well, one thing I could do is, I never really put up a promo video. I can do a promo video. And another thing I had, the promo video I have is actually old or dated. Actually, I think I did have a promo video, but it was, they did something to the platform and the video went away. So sometimes making the change and getting the sale is not because nobody wants what you have. Sometimes it's there's things just out of your control. And had I not bothered to take a look at these courses that I thought, they're doing fine, they're selling. And then I come to see, wait a minute, this platform made all these changes and my material is not appearing the way that it used to appear. And so people are being turned off by this. I'm probably not getting the results that I should be getting, could be getting, making the money that I could and should be getting because they are having trouble seeing me the way I see me. Now, how does this help you if you're making memorable moments and you're like, Ray, I don't have my own business. Stop it. I got you. Yo, I got you. Okay. So, what is working with your friends and family and what isn't working, right? Maybe every time you call up your friend, they are always busy. They have no time for you. Or maybe when you want to do something with your family, let's watch something together. Everyone grabs their phones or tablets and scatters. They don't want to be around you. Okay. Clearly you're like, hey, everybody, that's not working. So some things you can do is ask others, what they like to do. Find out what everyone else likes to do, right? Teenagers are just like, oh, I want to be alone. I don't want to be near you, right? They like their friends. So if you feel like you are struggling and starting from ground zero, that the connection was lost a long time ago, then I would really encourage you to gather up your crew, gather up that family, and all of y'all need to spend a weekend, no phones, no tablets, doing an activity together. Maybe a weekend might be too much, but some sort of group activity where you're forced to engage and you can't just go off to your own corners. It could be as simple as, okay, well, I know my kid likes this band. Maybe we go to a concert. I don't want to see this band. Maybe I go to the concert and I just sit in the back and I let my kids bring a friend with them. And the deal is, like, after the concert, you got to talk to me. You know, like, what was your favorite song? What was your favorite moment? So just look at what ways can you start to rebuild connections when you know, like, whew, I asked everybody if they wanted to watch a movie together, and everyone was like, oh, I ain't watching one movie with you. And don't be afraid, especially if you have children and you're looking to build some connections with your children. Don't be afraid to say, you know what, from now on, you know, I want to try something. You know, I really love that a friend of ours has movie night, movies and tacos every Friday with their family. And they all just make some really crappy tacos, or they order online and they watch movies. And maybe you start it with, okay, I'm going to let this child pick the movie. I'm going to let this child pick the restaurant. And we're all going to watch the movie together and eat the food together. And then we get to argue about it afterwards. It's okay if you argue about it afterwards. Do it. Do it. Argue about it. Because it's going to create memories. Like, this movie was horrible. Why did you pick this movie, right? And usually the person who's in charge of the pick of a movie will want to pick something that everyone else is going to enjoy. They might at first just pick something they want to see, but eventually they're going to realize, okay, everybody's on my case. And then switch it up. The next week, okay, you hated my movie? Well, I'm going to pick the food and you pick the movie, right? Rotate. Maybe everyone creates a little list. Top 5 movies that you know are on Netflix right now or YouTube or whatever that you want to see. Everyone write down 5 movies you want to see, and let's see if there's any overlap, right? Or everyone, let's pick 3 family movie genres that we can all agree on. Chances are you're probably not that far apart in your likes because you all grew up, live in the same household. And so even though it may seem you're a million miles apart, chances are there's going to be more common ground than you realize. And this is not just about dealing with kids. This is also about your spouse. The journey to finding acceptable dinner music back when I was married was definitely a process, but we did it. We found it. And I still look back on that fondly. Yeah, because even though there were times when I felt like we barely spoke, or it was like, oh my gosh, this dinner. And the moment there were stressful bits, like, oh, okay, he's changing the song again. He shows, or I put on something and I guess he doesn't like what I put on or what have you. The actual memory is like, even with the stressful bits, it was still really good. It was still a really good decision. One of the best decisions that we made. And, you know, I'm sure he would have been happy to just watch TV, but I still have fond memories of it. And I think he probably does too. And so, again, making more memorable moments. So with that, my friends, keep in mind that if you live your life with the goal of just making a few more memorable moments, whether it is in your business, which making memorable moments is partly drumming up business, or with your friends and family, then, when you are on your deathbed, waiting to meet your maker, you're going to have a lot of things to smile about. And don't you want to have more things to smile about instead of a bunch of whole regrets and be like, oh man, wish I had done that. Wish I had done that other thing. You don't want to be on your deathbed like, oof. Man, sure did watch a lot of TikTok, but I can't tell you what any of those TikToks were about. So get out there, friends. Go get more clients. Go make more memories with your friends and family, and make memories in your business that make you happy. And until next time, peace.
Thanks for listening. If you think this podcast would help a friend, then please feel free to share it with them. If you want to check out some more Real Ray or just see me hang out with cute dogs, then feel free to visit me over on YouTube, Get Real Ray 4273.